So hi there. Going to continue to follow the heron saga onto his next round. Here against ospond. They're down to 16 players left in the tournament, so we're getting near the end here. So first kingdom. Lacks alternative VP. Let's see what we've got on Druid. Swamp's Guess. That's always the nicest thing to find on Druid, generally speaking. It's looking like a very good Druid, and the engine components are all under 4, excepting Crown, so, or 4 under, so it's good. This looks like a really excellent Druid for this kingdom. Whether or not that's enough to push you to grab one, we'll still have to see, but at least at the first glance it looks quite nice. I would build here. There's no alt VP, which would help you favor the engine even more, and no attacks. So if you're going to try and do money, you could try Masquerade Money, which will be fairly quick on the provinces, especially with Borrow. But I would build here, particularly because you have duchies. Our duchies are fairly easy to get here with duplicate. But you could get down the provinces pretty quick between Masquerade and Borrow. But anyway, there's lots of ways to gain cards really quickly here, so the engine will also build up pretty fast, I think. Yeah, the druid is quite nice. Do you have time for it? I don't know, but it is good. I guess you pretty much are gonna get it. I mean, you have the fallback Field's Gift, and then the other two, of course, are the best boons. So for druid, at least, in my opinion. Gold Gainer's pretty nice though. Yeah, I'm not sure about the open, but definitely a mask open. I don't love the warehouse that much either. Well, yeah, flame pretty good. I actually think I like Wisp a little better than Flame in general for Druid, but yeah, probably competitive with Earth. Flame seems like maybe it's more likely to be outclassed in general in the kingdoms, but if it's the only trashy, then yeah, definitely going to be essential then. So they've both picked up a druid, both Masquerade. Ospond has the Workers' Village. Should have watched the trashing a little closer, see who missed plays or not. Heron's Masquerade fell to turn 4, but he played it with the warehouse, so not really too much of a shuffle issue, or not as big as it potentially could have been if he had, like, say, played warehouse turn 3 and then. But actually, that's probably been less of an issue. Ospond draws his Workers' Village immediately, which is pretty fortunate, though it doesn't matter too much other than that he doesn't draw it dead. Guide Settlers, I don't know. I've never played that particular combo, so I can't speak to it. Definitely your you can make Settlers do some work here between Guide and Warehouse. And I guess Oasis, though, maybe the least exciting of the 3. And of course, Settlers is nice with wisps. Heron has the crown. And it's also nice with Earthgift, the Settlers, so. Yeah, if you're playing the Masquerade twice, you want to go ahead and start with what Freaky's saying by passing copper first. So that potentially you can leave them with an estate, because they can also wait to pass their estate unless they have two, and it doesn't matter so much. I guess at that point he didn't have to, so. This board would be pretty nutty if there was a Smithy variant on here to get the overdraw going a little heavier. You can do it, of course. There's still lots of draw on the board, but it's just a little more finicky. Because then you would be able to do a lot of gain and play with armory. Nice that the Druid, of course, can be non-terminal. I wonder if you reach a point where you're just like, I need to get 6 wisps and just always wisp. Or if you're, it's kind of hard to choose between the 4s and the wisps here, I think. Certainly the, if you get the wisp engine running, that's just gonna be way better than just having, you know, another of the kingdom cards, just because the lab effect is so nice here. Heron just gave up his lead. Gotta hold that estate. Yeah, I wouldn't work too hard to do start of turn copper discarding with guide. I guess one upside of that is having Masquerade defense as well. I mean, I don't usually consider Masquerade defense that big of a deal, but there is some upside to knowing you have a copper on top. I'm sure it can be done, but how much resources it takes is another question, and how much it costs you in your turns to set it up versus other things you could be doing with overdraw or whatever. Yeah, but that's super control of the discard versus what we have here. So the... Okay. Heron gets another crown in a worker's village, which looks reasonable. This was not a good turn for ospond. He picks up the wisp here, gets his third masquerade, I believe, which I think is fine. I mean, as long as you can support it. Moat would be better, you know, beyond the first one or two masquerades here, but we don't have a moat, so... a little I guess it's fine. I mean, you might have thought about crowning the workers' village, but this is fine too. I would probably... I'm not sure which of these two I'd crown. I do think if you go harder for the wisps, you can maybe make your deck a little better, quicker than they're doing, focusing more on the kingdom, but I don't love top decking another armory. You would really rather do that on a turn where you can play it and just shuffle it away. Top decking it there is not like the greatest thing in the world. I typically would prefer to do it in a spot where I'm drawing it that turn. And top deck a drawing card. If you have knowledge of what your next hand is, it's a little different, but... So here, ospond's drawing most everything. Didn't quite get everything. I think I like double wisp. Well, I mean, if he's worried about the workers' village split at all, he can also just take those. So that's not crazy either. I don't know that you need to be worried about the workers' village split that much with crown, but crown is, of course, much more costly to add if you need the terminal stuff later. If you need to play more terminals later. It's not really like an action thing. Like, there are lots of ways to get actions. It's more like the easiest way to get actions is more the reasoning, or more the reason why I would even kind of think about it. Yeah, I don't think I don't think it's like gonna make your deck stop working because you don't have enough villages. That's not the issue. So he splits the difference there and goes for one wisp, one workers' village. I wouldn't complain too much about anything that anyone's doing here as long as they're getting the good cards, which for the most part they do. I wasn't in love with the armory, but the second armory. I don't really remember the first. I'm not sure if I was in love with it either, but I think if a person goes, like, he could have double wisp there and then double settlers, and that would have been starting to make the deck look like a really nice thing for wisp. But we'll see. You can go... I don't know how much money you actually need. I mean, it's pretty likely to just be some sort of 3-pile. So you certainly aren't going to have time to, like, build up to double province or something, but... he does go with the double settlers. Which I'm cool with. I would definitely have a duplicate here, or be looking for duplicates here in whatever ways, maybe as a better way to threaten scoring on duchies or whatever it is. But so yeah, I mean, I definitely think duplicates should be kept in mind. Does Heron have anything to put coppers in the discard? Well, I guess the Druid. But beyond that? Oh, they both have warehouses, I guess? Or does Heron have 2 warehouses? Oh, Heron has 2, so... Wait, who opened the warehouse? No, I can't remember. Yeah, Heron has 2. So ospond only has Earth's Gift, I believe, for putting things into the discard, which I think he should probably remedy. He's definitely drawing a little better though than Heron, I think. Though we'll see how Heron's next turn goes. I mean his deck is drawing more. Of course, he has 4 wisps to like 1, so that's not too surprising. If you're the person who has like 8 wisps or something, that's really nice. I would try and get an armory. If I was going to take a 4 cost, I would take an armory, and then I can get the rest of them using the armory. And then really favor wisp gains. Particularly here where you know you have the cards to draw on and play the armory. Like, I don't know, the guide play here isn't that exciting to me. Like I would have... he could have still gotten a guide, right? He could have gotten both, I think. Silver I dislike quite a lot. I don't know if it gets him to a nice price point here. I doubt if that's really an issue. Silver is just... it's really underwhelming in my opinion for this deck. Yeah, like I would have preferred to do armory and then gain maybe the guide or something. So got him double crown, but borrow is potentially a little scary here, though your opponent's not actually guaranteed to play Masquerade at all just because of his deck. The Wisp is pretty sad there. The way the Wisp split is currently, I would, as ospond, look to further that split. Like, since it's already 1-4, I would go hard on the Wisps, because if you have, 8 or 7 of them or whatever, that's considerably better than the person who has 3 or 4. At least at the point where the split starts to go kind of lopsided. So Heron's getting duplicate here. Depending on how aggressive you want to be, I don't know exactly how much Is there just one copper? Two. Okay, there's still 3. Oh, he'd played the second one. You could have. He can still even gain another duplicate, I guess. Well, he won't guarantee drawing it, so maybe that's not worth it here. Yeah, he could put guide on top or potentially play it, which isn't gonna muck with the other thing that's fairly safe is like Oasis. Field is okay. He really wanted a gold, I guess. That's fine. But yeah, I would tend to agree. I don't know. Borrow has some risk of just losing an engine piece at the cost of gaining one. Though, I guess he had some chance of top decking copper if he takes Wisp. So, or 50-50 anyway. Oh, yeah, it doesn't discard. Never mind. I was thinking like an Earth's Gifts for a Wisp, which of course is not. I was thinking Druid's card gain requires discard, but that's only the Earth. So, yeah, the golds are nice if it gets into provinces. Otherwise, they're still fine, but got plenty of bias, so cash is not that. Cash is, still decent here. Silvers don't excite me too much just because the draw isn't crazy. But golds are nicer and can be crowned, which is nice too. In fact, Heron probably shouldn't get more golds. He should probably just favor crowns. At least for a little while. No one has kind of put themselves in a position yet. No one has the draw or the trashing because they have still all these coppers. They're kind of, they're keeping coppers, right? And there's reasons for that, settlers and mask passes and whatever. But you can do a lot more with the gainers here if you don't have the coppers. Potentially. There are things in your decks that handle the coppers, but I still think 5 is maybe excessive. Maybe it's not. They're drawing, but overdraw is really nice here, so. Yeah, you gotta have armory for it. Well, I would say armory is a more likely pile than crown. But that's just what I look for when armory or ironworks are around. Yeah, and then estates are a bit possible for Heron in a turn or two. It's going to be not as feasible for ospond. He doesn't really have the cash for that. You can, of course, gain some of it, but look, I'll tell you right now, though, if you end your turn on this board and you're holding, between 4 and 5 more cards of draw in your hand, you've underplayed your turn. or your deck does not have as much payload as it ought to. Because you shouldn't be holding these in your hand at the end of your turn. On this particular board anyway. So we're going with the double crown. Please get a druid or an armory via druid next turn. Oh, this is rough. This is really rough. Those are the 2 crowns he just bought. Oh, he's got guide. Okay. Everything's right in the world. So yeah, Heron's not too far from Crown and plus Mask. Now that ospond bought 2, which would bear out Naismith's prediction, though he did it before 2 crowns were purchased. But yeah, I mean, now it definitely Mask Crown looks in range. If he draws. So he doesn't, this wisp, he's going to crown this wisp, and, well, he doesn't have to crown it. He could armory for mask and crown the mask. Yeah, maybe that's the more the play. Armory the mask and crown it. So he crowns mask twice. That's similar. It's just more aggressive going for the 3 pile than the other way. And has chances to burn you on actions, potentially. I don't know. He's have 1 or 2 more villages, and then I don't know if he has a 3rd crown, then he might be able to do the actions, but as they sit now, the actions are going to be really low. If he can crown, if he has another workers village and a crowning that would probably give him enough to do more exciting things, but to me, it does not look like he's going to get there this turn, though. So he'll probably want to buy a province here. Might be, well, he can't draw it yet. Heron have a guide down? Nope. I assume he'll score. Lowering would be really, really scary. I mean, lowering would be pretty crazy. Not that ospond has that many gains, but with druid you can get the things to do the gains. Yeah, Heron has... Yeah, don't borrow. Heron has a possible sad turn coming up ahead of him. He has... One thing that's not great for Heron is the 2 warehouses with only 2 settlers. He doesn't get to mitigate the warehouse so much. That's He's feeling confident that he gets burned immediately. So that lowering is I'm not convinced by those buys. I would actually tend to favor getting a province with a 3 there. Particularly now my opponent is going to have the turn in which they can, easily catch up on points and then get themselves ready for piling out, give themselves the gains. That's the main thing that ospond doesn't have right now is gains. I think a lot of the stuff here you have to stack wisp results to get the draws because they really don't have. I think the decks are just a little bit short of where they need to be as far as engine components. I think they've underplayed the deck here a little bit, both of them, in sort of different ways. But it's not a great sign if you're dudding here on this board. Before greening, anyway. I mean, essentially, Ospond's deck had 2 dud turns in it because he dudded, had to guide, and then he still dead drew. So, did he play another guide? Nope, not yet. So, yeah, I think 5 coppers is still just too big of a number to keep. In my opinion. Heron gets the duplicate down, and then now Ospond should certainly be looking for a win here. Heron will be able to tie, but that's not a big deal. I guess he can more than tie if he goes for, he can double dutchy. Yeah, double dutchy does like feel like giving up. See, no points doesn't really impress me much, but 0 points does not seem compelling to me, but we'll see if... Yeah, the warehouses are not impressive to me, or not multiples anyway. I guess it's a little sad that Ospond didn't find his settlers before he had to trigger. Though on the other end, he'll probably be playing Druid first gift. And his wisps, a couple of his wisps hit, so that's pretty fortunate. He doesn't need much here since, I mean, he needs money is the main thing to get. He needs $9 is the big thing that he needs. The wisps on the whole were pretty kind to him. He has $9 in deck, of course, because he has the 2 silvers, and if he can save a crown play, then he can get that. So I would expect him to make it. He needs to... He is. Well, now it's just definitely in hand. He just needs to do the druids and get the masks, and then... I was going to say, I don't think it was in hand before, but it is now. Just get the mask with Earth's Gift, and then... draw the coppers up, and... it's like way over in hand now. I don't know if he had beating double duchy, though he didn't, play everything out. So I think double duchy, Heron doesn't lose that next turn, though. He'll be in a bad spot for sure. Still, just to be the person with 3 duchies versus the person with, 2 provinces is going to be pretty sad for Heron. All right, so Ospond takes the first game. Game 2, we've got stronger draw and weaker villages. So, yeah. I mean, it's necro villages this time instead of drawing villages versus smithies instead of moats / pseudo sometimes labs. I mean, they're gonna buy they're gonna buy chapel here and then pair it with probably either, I don't know, vassal silver or enchantress. Payload again here is fairly limited. I mean, you can basically play like tons of vassals if you want. That may be the best economy stuff you can do here. That's what I'm leaning, just thinking at it. I mean, otherwise you can do, golds. There's not a payload card, super payload card on the board. But there's every other kind of engine thing that you need. Heron gets an enchantress, so he'll be pairing that with chapel. Yeah, patrol has some synergies here, as chat's saying, with nobles and with vassal. What would happen to me here if this was my, tournament-breaking game? I would open, chapel something. I would bottom deck the chapel, and then they would also play an enchantress on their turn 4 or whatever, turn 3 or 4, whichever one, depending on which player I was. That's what would happen to me. So they've mirrored, and no funny business with enchantress occurred, other than Heron's enchantress play is going to be blocked, but that might end up being to his benefit. And in fact it is. So everyone got to trash the same stuff. Heron's going to get to... Oh, it was a peasant chapel board, Naismith, and I bottom decked peasant and chapel. And also, no, not peasant, sorry, page chapel. So even worse in some sense. Um, and then it got worse from there, which is funny because you wouldn't think that would be possible. um, so that's really funny that Heron drew into his vassal. Yeah, it was something like that freaky. It happened at least twice, but I think it did happen even again at the very end, right before I resigned. Yeah, so he got to play his enchantress to draw a vassal, which is funny. Ospond might want to buy a vassal instead of trashing 4, but he could also just get a second squire. Squire's okay here. I mean, it depends, like, on what angle you want to go for. If you want to go heavy vassal, the squires are actually sort of sadder because you don't get to use the silver gain really very much. But I don't like that, horse traders. No, I do not like that. I mean, he gets to activate it, but still, not a fan. It is 1-0 ospond. Like, I'm answering this. This person may or may not be listening to me. Alright, so ospond did get to activate his horse traders. Heron bought a squire. Is that a slot machine reference? Is that your unit of currency in there? I haven't been in the channel, so I only know that it exists and what it is for. Now we're at another squire. I guess if you just use the horse traders as your thing that you set aside and then play it as a cantrip, I guess that's okay. The on-play effect from horse traders here is not very exciting. Why did I'm super confused. I'm sorry, I just don't spend a 5 on a squire here. The 5s are great, or at least good. That's a really bizarre buy to me. The saddest things that have happened so far is ospond passing on trashing more with chapel to buy a horse traders. That was pretty sad. Yeah, that was depressing. But anyway, man, you sure do not want to keep coppers or estates on this board here. Definitely ospond looks ahead to me. He's fortunately not spending his 5s on squires. I'm actually not super convinced that you have to have a second enchantress here. The attack is less... I don't know, the attack is not crazy here. Crazy good anyway. The consistency part is nice. But even that, I mean, with chapel shouldn't be such a big issue here. But the +2 cards is, in my opinion, the nice aspect here. Versus the attack is sort of underwhelming actually on this board. It seems slow to me. Actions seem too rare to really do a lot of farmers marketing. I'd rather have a lot of vassals actually than gold, I think, here. I don't care about the nobles. The decks are small enough. I want markets. Like, I like market double vassal okay here. Well, it's maybe Squire's so weird to me. That's what I think with Sunar. They're just loving the squires, which is weird to me, but I would also really, really like someone to finish trashing their starting cards, to be honest. And stop buying squires. That would be nice too. Yeah, ospond definitely looks way ahead. I think if he just like builds, as long as he has payload like for the rest of the game, he should just win. Unless he does it in like a super inefficient fashion, he should be okay. The horse traders are so weird to me too. I really don't care about the second enchantress. I don't know. It's just whatever. Man, imagine if that squire was like a vassal. That would be cooler. I would definitely trash the coppers this turn. You need the buys. For sure get the buys. Don't take a silver. You got so much money. See, this is the kind of thing that makes me a little worried about ospond. Like, nobles to me looks trap-like here. Not zero, but you don't need to fight for them that hard. Unless you're going for more treasures. Then you need them, but then you need them in patrols. But if you're doing vassal stuff, you need not them. Squire is a card you want like one or two of. And only in the like exceptionally rare cases do you want more. It's just like it's too easy to overbuy squires. They're just not that great. Almost any time. The advantage of building up the village smithy style draw here would be robustness during the greening phase, but like what greening phase? Like for sure this is built, almost certainly built to 3 pile kind of thing. In which case that kind of draw is not as good as just having more efficient money cards through Vassal. The Horse Traders has reacted a lot this Unar, like a lot. And then played as a cantrip, like almost every time, which is fine. I think it's actually a reasonable use for it here, but I would have seriously considered doing the patrol, but this is okay. Ospond's still way ahead, like his turns are... yeah. He can flip... He can put, like, Chapel Nobles down and Vassal one of them. Yeah, he still draws everything. He's gonna Horse Trader, so it's okay. He's gonna have more cash than he can. Well, he's not buying vassals anyway, so the buys don't. He doesn't actually use them for that. Yeah. He could have. You know what you can do? $15 in 3 buys. You can buy 3 more squires. I mean, if you're going to do the patrol stuff, it's not crazy, I guess, to start buying provinces, but you're super ahead anyway. Your turns are putting out more. It would have been really nice to have 5 buys here, or 4 buys, or whatever. 5, I guess, is the most likely number to... I would really like another market myself, but this is okay. Instead of 2 nobles, but I mean, heron is you know, not really in the game, I wouldn't say. Like, lowering at this point, like, ospond probably can just finish. Like, if ospond draws, he'd just win really easy. So he should just cantrip Enchantress. I would just play to the finish here. So I would just start the Enchantress. How'd your match go, Lemon Spawn? This is a test of Lemon Spawn. Oh. Who was playing in D then? Lemon was just talking about it. It wasn't him playing. I see. Never mind then. I just had low reading comprehension, I guess. It's already in hand, the win is, so... Ah, I see. Now the win is not in hand because he discard the silver, but it'll be back in hand shortly. Alright, so that's game 2 to ospond. Yeah, we got the Artificer the Curse Village combo, which also gets around Swamp Hag nonsense if they pursue that, which I wouldn't expect anyone to. And then also, of course, the Curse Village is really nice here against Legionary Margrave. And it plays pretty well with horse traders. I don't know if you get one or not, but plays really well with Canal also. The Curse Village Artificer stuff. So it would be nice to have some trash in here, but there isn't, so you definitely want a crop rotation. You can try and play Zombie Mason some, but Swamp Hag actually just looks like straight up garbage here. There's just too many things to do around it between buying projects and Artificer. Well, your 5s are probably going to cost 4 at some point, so that's not so much of an issue. But yeah, it helps before then. The Legionary Margrave stuff. I mean, you may play with a Margrave still. It's actually nice to be able to punch up above your hand size of 6 to at least have the possibility of gaining provinces with Artificer at some point. Also, Flag Bearer is okay too, and it plays nicely with Necromancer in a couple of different ways. It's actually really nice to start with the one size bigger hand that Crop Rotation or Flag Bearer can give you. I think my first 5 is just a Artificer, to be honest, but yeah, the attacks are even less compelling with Lighthouse around as well. But I think Margrave at some point could be reasonable. Apprentice is also a way to pop up above. I guess not really. Wait, yeah, Zombie Apprentice. I'm not sure if that could. Maybe with Canal it gives you enough, but I think then you couldn't Curse Village afterwards. I dislike the Swamp Hag quite a lot. I guess the Swamp Hag's even more of like a Canal angle than anything, or more likely to be if he gets it. Heron So ospond has already been able to get 2 5s, while heron is just buying lighthouses basically. Maybe they haven't noticed it. Artificer is like probably my favorite card in the entire game. It's like gotta be top 5 for sure for me. It's just so cool. It's just super fun. So ospond will have, I guess 7, no 9, no, I mean 8. Can't talk. So I guess he can do Canali and Lighthouse if he wants. Or crop rotation and Lighthouse if he wants. There's somebody. Herring's got an Artificer now. He goes Necro Flag, which is weird to me. Pretty strange to me. I hope they buy the project soon because the projects are really good. It's not if you're playing an Flag is not weird if you're playing an Artificer Curse Village deck. It's a little weird if you're playing a. It's really not. People talk about the hand size start of turn increasers as being anti-synergistic with draw to X, but they're really not. Because in theory, you should have stuff that's lowering your hand size at the start of turn anyway. And draw at the start of your turn, it just helps you find those things. Definitely the junk giving hexes are the worst here. By far. Potentially a locust could be pretty sad, but they're reasonable 4s to get. So. The deck size is such that you don't get to crop maybe as much as you'd like now, but I would still be fine with it. Excepting that they're ospond has 0 artificers, so I think, or maybe he has one now. I might have missed a buy. Heron looks like he's more on track to doing the kinds of tricks you want to do here. It would be really nice if he had Canal on, though. Why is it not called Lemon $sign pawn? Or I don't know. I only have alts. All my alts predate Shuffle It. Actually, all of my accounts on Shuffle It predate Shuffle It. They're all transfers from GoCo. And I had alts on GoCo before I bought the cards on GoCo. But didn't they just I just got all these emails to all my random emails when Shuffle It came around about my account transfers. McMoney was my original attempt to try to play pure big money on and see how high I could ladder on GoCo. And the answer was not very high. And mainly the answer was it's super boring to do. Delusion is not so bad here. Well, if you have artificers, it's not so bad. So ospond, I think it's not that bad of a hex. Well, it depends on your situation, but it shouldn't be that bad. Like, he should still get to do a lot of stuff with artificer this turn. He should be able to gain at least like 2 or 3 artificers on this next turn. So he'll be fine. Or it's not that bad. And envious, of course, is just nothing here. It would be even less of an issue. I mean, if a push comes to shove, he gets to the end of the turn, he has $6, he can buy crop rotation, right? I mean, so it still does something for him. So what's that split come out to now? Oh, that's funny. Canal punishes. What did the Cursed Village split come out to? Like 5-4 now, or was it already split even? And it's, I guess if it was split even, it still would be 5-4, just the other way. Yeah, this is like, oh, Artificer's in the trash. Yeah, not CV. Sorry. Artificer was what got hit there. So, yeah. I guess it's probably either. I mean, they're both going for him. Yeah, this is easy. Artificer. He'll be able to crop rotation here, which, as far as buys, maybe not your favorite thing to buy at this point, but he could also buy a province. The piles are kind of getting there. You can think about I don't know how many cursed villages he has, but I would at least think about stopping the artificer train at some point, but keep going on artificers as long as you have some reasonable chance of drawing a cursed village from your cursed village play. I would have seriously considered keeping the Necromancer in hand there, but is he going to get to 13? Is he going to be able to province and crop rotation? Well, he still can. He can still gain and play another scheme if he wants to. I don't know what the last card is. There's also an Artificer in the trash. So he can gain and play 2 things if he wants to. You just have to figure out if you want to You just have to figure out if you really want to get... Trying to think if he can buy crop rotation and province. 13. I mean, he has the money. I don't know if he has the cards. If he plays the Necro as an artificer, he'll be up to 8. What did he put on top? So he did not get the scheme, which is not maybe ideal. He can stop now, though, too. Though he shouldn't have played. He just lowers for no reason there, I guess. It also takes an artificer from the top of his deck. That was really bad. Why did he do it like that? I mean, like, that's awful. He had an okay setup, too. He could have just schemed Cursed Village. He could have played it as... Is Apprentice you may? Yeah, he could have played it as Apprentice. If like he played the Necromancer and he didn't want to ask for an undo or something, but he wanted not to draw the card or not. That was really weird. I would take a province. The piles are so low. I guess he already has... I guess he does have the Curse Misery lead, so it's maybe not... I don't know. It's like Heron... I don't know if Heron will get to a finish. It'll depend on how fortunate he is with his draws. But he's got a good start. That was the end of Ospond's turn there, though, was pretty... he actually played the rest of the turn, I think, quite well. I mean, I think the choices there were pretty good. Yeah, but he can gain them. Yeah, I mean, I know that doesn't increase his gains, so yeah, I don't think Heron's gonna pile like you would try to do on lighthouses and artificers. No, you don't need 6. You just need 4 gains, because you can chain the other gains. Any of the artificers in decks you can chain to address KHZ. Of course, he can't hear me, but nonetheless. He can get the gains. I don't think that's quite the issue. I mean, I think they're in deck, I guess. But I don't know if it'll all chain together the way you'd want. That was weird. Why did he not play schemes? This is also really bad to have drawn the... Yeah, the Artificer misclick's really easy to make. That's a shame that he has all his Cursed Villages, or a lot of Cursed Villages in hand already. I mean, I would still take them. They're sort of free. And they open up some options. The necromancers. Kaplane is also not listening to me, but I mean, if you have excess gains, it might help. Depending. Yeah, I think that's quite weird. In the end, this turn hasn't done a whole lot. I mean, he's not going to win this turn. That's not going to happen. Not at this point. But yeah, it's really weird to lower so much if you're not. I'm not even sure if it's going to be really hard without like stacking, I think. Without stacking the deck. But now Ospond's finish is just super easy. I would have gained Green with my other Artificer play, or thought about it anyway. I guess it's a little hard. You don't want to top deck it. If you think it's okay, so you have to go prove it. Anyway, Ospond can just start playing Artificers and gaining Lighthouses. I don't think it's in hand. Unless I'm super confused. What is the... I mean, the gains just aren't in hand yet. Now it's in hand. Ospond is up to 3 wins this match. So Ospond is like the 61st seed or something, I think. We should pull up the bracket and let's see. See if he's run through. Whoops. Let's see Ospond's path to glory. Here it is. Okay. Oh, I see. That wasn't a big... Okay. Alright, so he didn't have any big upsets. The reason he's through is because of the... I mean, not the only reason, obviously. He won all his matches. That's why the main reason why he's through. But he's in Marcus's lane. So he benefited from the big Marcus upset, I would say, in terms of the path, because he really only had to pull off one minor upset to reach this point. At least as far as seeding is concerned, which, you know, is whatever. But and Heron, of course, Heron was the 13th seed, so he hasn't upset anybody yet. Though the DG one well, you know, the GG1 is a tough opponent, and so is his round of 64, Misha. Alright, so this kingdom has no village. Pretty crappy obelisk. But some draw, den archive. A little bit of buying gains. Yeah, I mean, Haggler's going to be really nice here. Like, you can green pretty quick here. You can green and be gaining 5s to make your greening smooth, so... Yeah, once you get trashed out with Mercenary or upgrade, well, Mercenary, I guess, it should be a little better. Yeah, so on a 3-4 you can pick up the cards, or you can guarantee a Merc collision or an Urchin collision by saving a state on your forehand, and then you only have 9 cards in the shuffle, so then you can save if they don't appear in the same hand turn 3. Heron has collision here on turn 4. Ospond played his, which actually makes his odds of collision a little lower. Instead of saving it. So he's not going to get collision in this shuffle. He should have saved the Urchin. Ospond is looking in a bad spot here. Like, the silver buy is not that exciting either. I don't think it's crazy to have 2 mercenaries here, so I would not agree with the claim that there's no point to a third Urchin, but we'll see if Ospond remembers to save this time. Still, it's going to be bad times for him really soon. You can buy Bishop. It's worth 2 points. I would not buy a 4. I would, in Ospond's position, I would 100% roll the 50-50 at this stage. Like, if it's not in this shuffle, just forget about it anyway. It's like, just resign. I would just play the Urchin. You're going to lose most likely anyway, but Well, you might as well play the urchin first, right, and find out. And then just resign if you don't draw it. And then probably resign a couple turns later if you do draw it. Yeah. Yeah, this is pointless now. The shuffle's so big, it's going to be like 4 turns before he plays a mercenary. That's if he's lucky. Heron can buy another den. He can't miss 5, can he, anyway? I mean, it's better to save the silver, but he's like... Yeah, he did. He saved. He just saved a copper. I mean, yeah, it just... I think it didn't matter. I don't agree. I don't think you need buy here. I mean, it'd be okay. But I'm not big on it. Haggler I love. I might have waited one more turn. But I do love it. Here. Yeah. Yeah, he did miss a save there. For no reason. It's kind of weird. I would have probably not bought Haggler on the turn he did. I would have waited one more turn. I would have gotten in one more Merc play and then done it. I would have just gone with another den. But hey, if ospond sticks this out and wins, that'd be pretty impressive. We're kind of in that zone now where the I would like Heron to have a gold also. Like, I wish his province, if he was going to do the Haggler soon, I wish he'd done gold den. But, because, like, the money distribution here. Like, now he can do gold province. That's pretty good. I really dislike playing with exact money on these boards when you don't really have to. But whatever. And he can't save. But he's going to get to 3 provinces here, and then he'll be at 4 is not guaranteed the next turn, but I think next turn, if he bottom decks treasure, he doesn't hit 8. But then maybe that assumes ospond hits him with a mercenary. Yeah, so he can miss now. He doesn't even have to. It's not very bottom either. Just now it's impossible. He just will not hit 8 here because he discarded a copper. Yeah, gold archive will be good too. Ospond following in provinces is, completely hopeless. 7 is nice. He can save and do gold archive. At least we're not going to have a sweep. So we get at least a game 5. Most likely. The province buys from osponds are so useless. Like they literally just don't help him in any way. I would do gold over archive. You do not need to do a points play, so I would not have taken a bishop. You super don't need a points play. You need to make sure I province every turn for the rest of the gameplay. The bishop play is so silly. He didn't save again for no reason. Oh well. This is I mean, it's true this is a position where you can turn off the brain a little bit. Though save doesn't exactly strike me as a compute intensive choice. Yep, just get to sit here and wait until Heron cleans up these provinces. Which will be a couple turns, 3 turns, something like that. Could be shorter if he had more money. Oh, there we go. Alright, moving on to game 4. The score is now game 5. The score is now 3-1 in Ospond's favor. Here we got tournament. Seer looks like it's going to be pretty nice. Pathfinding looks like it's going to be itself. No, that's because no one should put tournament in the ban list, Lemon Spawn, because tournament is like easily top 10 most fun Dominion cards. Oh, I read that wrong. Sorry, Lemon. I apologize. I don't have the rest of the list. I just know tournaments in there. So they've gone Gear Remake. Looks reasonable. No one's going to buy Golem. Why would you buy Golem? You don't need Golem. Golem sucks. Ospond can set aside a stake copper here and buy tournament. That's what I would probably do. Crowns. Charms. Well, okay. That's something. You know what you can do? You can Pathfinder gears. That would be pretty wild. That might be okay, actually. I mean, you'd rather Pathfinder tournaments, but... I wouldn't be into that deck, but I would like the deck to be a little simpler. Which is to say, I would be pretty heavily into doing tournament things and then some seers. This looks like a seer buy for Heron. He buys a tournament. Maybe was he missing? Did I miss a coin or did he fast click? Not sure. How many tournaments does ospond have? If you have like two, like if there's a tournament in the bottom here, I would pathfind something. I would have 100% path found, but that's just me. As the first person, I would have path found, but because you know you're not getting stumped then. Alright, so they both provinced. Seer did not find... he got stuffed a little, though it didn't totally kill him because he still hit 8. Though his bottom 6 are all pretty bad for next turn. Though he may be able to... There may be no, the silvers are in hand. It's like remake, tournament, gear... Not remake, or not tournament, remake, province, gear. I don't know, copper or 2. Yeah, there isn't any reason to play the second tournament. Can nobody hear me? People have been responding to me. Did I cut out? Okay. Women can hear me. I know people have been responding to me, so. This looks like easy pathfinding, though you might consider pathfinding seer over tournament. Depending what you think the deck will look like. I would probably go tournament though. So bottom card's Province. This is actually gonna be maybe sort of rough now. Heron goes with the Steed, which seems totally reasonable to me. There's maybe some world where the seer is really good. He gets another prize. I don't know. I don't really know what the bottom of the card or the remaining cards look like, but I guess there was a chance, right? If the silver had gotten drawn up, then he would have done it. Yeah, you could. Well, they won't always have a Province in hand. And even when they don't, turning the dead ones to cantrips is pretty nice. Like, plus card is plus card, so if you're, you know, yeah, that's the only drawback. But like, you've got silvers that you can remake, so there's not another cantrip 4. So I don't know, remake to me suggests tournament, not seer, because you can remake your silvers into tournament. Okay, he just wants to get a Pathfind down, which is... Oh no, he provinces. I 100% don't agree with that. I'd really dislike not getting pathfinding there. Ospond should just buy another tournament. I really, really dislike not getting pathfinding there. If you get pathfinding there, your odds of getting a second prize here, or a second and third prize here, are like really good. Yeah, blocking... I mean, it's not like... Okay, the province isn't like the worst thing ever, but I still much prefer... He can top deck a province here, which is really nice. Heron does look pretty one at this stage, so he can still do the pathfinding now. Well, he doesn't believe in pathfinding, but... So Ospond will get Princess. But I think that's just not going to cut it. He can draw him. I don't know if you play it. It's probably better to just... I would have trashed the coppers myself. I think while you can buy Sears, Sear makes sense. He already has 3 tournaments, so... I really would have preferred the trash, though. The coppers are very, very bad. The backup gold is pretty bad too. Ospond's never going to get to play a tournament again for the rest of the game that doesn't get blocked. I would take Diadem. I would have taken Diadem before Bag of Gold, but that's just me. Oh, Diadem's still there, right? Says prize pile 1. Maybe this time he'll get to. Yay! Ospond gets to play tournaments this time. Too bad he didn't get to play any. Poor guy. Cave's not in here, or I'd tell him that all 3 of those cards are great. Alright, we're going to game 6. I especially like strong attacks, and they all 3 have a component of that. I love strong attacks. Like, that's one of my favorite aspects of Dominion. It's just like making someone's deck just the worst. Well then, that's just Dominion, man. The turn 3-4 shuffle is just like the game. It's not the whole game, but I like Urchin. I like that it's trashing. I actually think Urchin is not as bad as some things are, as far as one person getting ahead and that being the whole thing, because I think there's sometimes a period of turns where the person who gets the Merc later has a couple turns where they get some catch up from being able to still trash junk when the other person has stopped. But it's still, of course, a big advantage to have your mercenary first. Oh, another canal game. Yeah. The problem with, printing Lost City is that you have to have bought a print. I know. I wouldn't accuse you of being serious, Johns. So, big quarry stuff with Squire. Should be good. Maybe someone will open Ruin Market. Some people just can't pass up on their opportunity to get a Ruin Market. Some people love the heck out of that Ruin Market. Don't even have to buy a death cart here to get it. But you can if you want. I don't know, maybe treasure maps. It might be treasure map. They're easy to put in once you have the Lost Cities and the trashing done. I probably am not messing around with duplicates. I dislike the idea of a dismantle opening. I would just go with the quarry chapel. You don't even need... Oh yeah, you do for the prince thing. I tried to do dismantle chapel the other day against a bot and it didn't work very well for me. Though I could have been doing something stupid. I think it was like so bad that I almost lost to Lord Raddington. Which means I almost certainly was doing something stupid. Heron can get his second quarry, which is what I would do. He's going for the old lost city. He needs to not trash all these coppers here. Oh, never mind. He can trash, well, not all of them, but pretty friendly lost city there. Question, I guess, is whether you get the squire first or the second quarry. I guess maybe the squire is better. See, this is the point where you ideally should be like planning out your turns. Because you can... We're not quite there, but within a couple of trashes we will be. I guess we can be there, right? After this chapel play. Maybe he's going to get the death cart. Right? Yeah. Get the death cart. Here, here's what you do. You trash 3 coppers in a state. You buy death cart. You got the buy for the next turn. The next turn you can death cart either your ruin or your chapel, whichever one's worse. Then you'll have enough money and a buy you can get quarry squire or on your next turn. Actually, I'm actually like, I think I would have done that. I think I would have done what I said instead of this. I think I would have gone for the death cart there. This is just a sad turn. I mean, now he's got to like... He can do silver gain, I guess, and buy quarry. I don't know. If he finds his squire here, Heron will be in really good shape. I mean, ospond... I don't know what ospond's going to do. I don't even know why he has a dismantle. So I'm not following ospond's line here, to be honest. To be able to predict what he'll buy. What was the buy 5 lost cities line, Tracer? From what point? Anyway, he can get a lot of stuff here. For sure. We may have it. A reverse sweep. So, how many coppers can you trash here? All of them? Is all of them safe? Do you need the third quarry, or is that's just overkill, isn't it? Surely. Did everybody get like a set amount of starting money for the slot machine? Ah, 100. Maybe everyone will be so bad that somebody... Are you required to use them all? Can you just sit on your 100? I hope someone wins who... I guess I can just go look at the rules. There are just so many channels in this thing now. Finally, the rune market we always wanted. So next turn, should Heron get his maps next turn, or should he wait one more turn past that? I mean, Heron can pile not this next turn, but the following turn, if he wants to. I say weird, at least when I'm trying to be euphemistic in chat and or commentary for the same purpose. He did not add additional squires, so if Heron really cranks on the buys this turn, he can have a finish on his next turn. If he cranks on the squires here, he can also just, throw in the maps or something. He can just decide if he wants to try to win fast or try to win slow. I mean, if it's a win the next turn, no matter what ospond does, then I would go for it for sure. If it can be made to not be a win, depending on what ospond does, then that's not so clear. I mean, I guess he has enough. I guess he has 5 stop cards, so nothing's guaranteed. So in that sense, going for a super aggressive thing is somewhat scary. Since you're already in basically a 1 position. I mean, it's not like that unsafe to be playing with 5 stop cards and 5 or 6 or 7 stop cards and 5 lost cities or whatever it is, but I guess it's 7 or 8 stop cards. Rules. Bets must be placed prior to start match. The maximum bet free, blah blah blah. Alright, let's see how everyone's doing in the betting league. Did someone buy an in? No one bought an in, did they? I mean, it wouldn't be though. I wouldn't do it, but he got 2 squires, 1 lost city. What will he get next? The thing is, ospond has his like 0 threat also. Piles. Oh jeez, my apologies. Dismantle. Wow, why does everybody buy dismantle here? Man, dismantle. Just not a very good card. Well, he would be able to pile out it. I don't know why I answered that question. This person is unlikely to be listening to me. I gotta keep track of the list better in my head. Ospond's gonna score points, but like, man, it sure just doesn't do much. Well, we know Deathcar helps empty ruins. The Corey loss there is tough. Like, Another dismantle. I don't really get the dismantles. Too bad there's not like an island here. Then this board would really... Then Heron really would have known how to get the finish here. I wonder if he'll take the ruin market over the copper from the chapel here. I guess he might as well. I mean, maybe not. You probably... Since there aren't more 5s worth gaining, really. That'll be a little bit harder to sell. Is there a finish here? I was going to say, I don't think there's one here. I mean, you can like... I bet there's enough gains for a finish. I just bet there's not enough points. I think you can easily empty. I think people are talking past one another there in the chat currently. And some funny arithmetic going on. The 4 was already 6 minus 2. That's what they meant. Yeah, you need 11 buys to get the province too. Also, you're a dollar short. You're dollar short and a buy short. AKA, you're like a squire short. Don't you need... Oh, there's just one lost city. Sorry. No, you're not a dollar short. I was thinking there were 2 in there. Yeah, you're just a buy short. I mean, ospond has like no pile threat. Just like 0 pile threat. So the heron just wins when he can score enough and do the piling stuff. I would have bought the lost city before doing the inn. Unless he's... Oh yeah, he doesn't have the money for that. Inn seems fine. Yeah, duplicate's not crazy. He's... Ooh, oh, this is a pretty scary hand. pretty scary hand. Yeah, the thing was he didn't really need the squire buys anymore. He was going to be able to get some sort of finish with dismantle stuff, if that was a thing to go for. Of course, now, here ospond can duchy and province, which would make the heron finish a little harder. He's just cleaning up, apparently, a little bit. So this makes it, well, heron could dud here. I mean, you can also get lucky. He's still getting finished, though, of course. So he can't even province, so that's not great. And then, but ospond, again, doesn't have pile threat. So he has to basically empty the provinces to win here. Duchy is, doesn't seem that great to me. Like probably I don't know if he has the draw. I would have done the T-maps if he didn't have a dismantle. But since he has a dismantle, I'm not as interested in that. Now Ospond's going to be wishing he can buy canal. If he duchy estates, I'll be... That's not a line you want to go for. He does take the canal. Heron's got all his lost cities here, but he can't draw deck, I don't think. So he has a bajillion coppers. They're just named squire in his case. Did he get to 8? Is this enough? Does he have enough money to get a duchy and I guess he's pretty likely to have enough here. But he doesn't have to province. He can just duchy and duplicate it. Right, this should be a finish, right? Yeah, this is the finish. He can discard Ruin Market, dismantle. Or if he has enough money, one of the quarries. I don't know if he has enough money. He does not. So he just, if he toss Ruin Market, dismantle, then it's done. Get 11 buys, and then take your lost city, 2 duchies, 4 death cards, 4 squires. I mean, maybe you have I don't know, maybe you have a spare buy for an estate. I didn't count them. This is actually more than 12 gains because we're using death card. Ah, yeah, you would be short money. But you do have a loose buy, but you don't have a loose coin. Alright, game 7, here we go. Let's capitulate. Oh, look at my score. My score thing says, ooh. for the old OOOHHH. What can we do for 5 minutes? I can learn the rules of betting times. Alright. So if everybody So if no one dissents, if people don't bet on both sides of the match, then no one can get any money or can gain any money. You have to be able to convince someone to bet against whoever you're betting for. Is my understanding correct? Bet history. Let's see who's been the big loser so far. Cyrix. I guess your money could just disappear if you bet for someone, but no one bets against you and you lose. I don't know. I mean, that's just proof sports are random. How many of our 5 minutes have we ate up so far? 2, at least. Ospond is ready. Sure it is. I mean, well, technically it's our SIF. All right, here we go. Who will pull it out in this exciting final match? Okay, so we got good times, no draw, but we've got Sculptor. It looks like it can do some stuff for sure. Duplicates obelisk. That's funny. I don't actually know. I've been privy to every single discussion involving the rules stuff, but I don't actually know what the new rules are, to be perfectly honest. Did it change how procession and, say, duplicate interact? Is it just the duration? I knew that one. Okay, so it doesn't change the reserve interaction. I know that was on the table at some point, I think. Colony here, but it's not. I mean, obviously it's worth a bajillion points. It's not the easiest thing in the world to buy a colony here, though. I mean, accepting the sort of the traditional get some platinum, which I guess is just what you do. It's like you get some ironmongers, get some sculptors, and then try and get platinum. And if you're ahead, just salt like crazy. If there weren't colonies, I'd be okay with trying something with Duke, but I just can't feel it with colonies. Colonies, so many points. I'd love to see someone try it. I'd be afraid to try it on the... I wouldn't do procession, though. You don't have thinning. I would not buy procession for explicitly for duplicate. This is a great board. I would not. This is a fine board. But I think it's going to be kind of... The sad thing, of course, when these is like buying... Well, I do like more boards than the average person, because I like this game more than it seems like the average person does. I appreciate the variety. I'm not doing pure money, but I'm doing ironmonger plus money, including sculptors. And then I guess you have to decide how often you want to pick up procession in that deck, I guess. But if duplicate could gain platina, then you'd be talking. But yeah, that's about... I'm with Cup Lane as far as... No, I'm not feeling the rogues, but I could see something bigger winning, but I think it would take some lucky draws. As long as their opponent's deck is competing on the Ironmongers, I think it would take some lucky draws. If there's any trash in here, I could believe in additional nonsense, but decks are so fat here. My recording probably is looking funny now. Because my late night blue light adjustment thing has activated somewhat. I didn't turn it off for the recording. So there's going to be an orangish tinge for a good chunk of this video. Yep, that's the thing, Johns. They have a lot of sculptors. That's more sculptors than I would have. Unless you're like for sure doing. Maybe they're not gonna buy a colony. Maybe they're just gonna 3-pile. Maybe they're just gonna 3-pile. I don't agree with whoever bought the venture. I don't think. Unless maybe if they had exactly 5 6s, looks like gold. Who took the heron? Has the castle too. Yeah, no one seems to be pursuing platinum in a focused way, which I think is the definite goal here. Or should be the best goal here. Oh, three sculptors. There's a hidden... Man, this is weird. Also, ironmonger and silver are not very good together. Their ospond gets a gold, which I like. Now you could realistically try and pile. Like things are low enough. You could try to do like a duplicate thing. And try to empty sculptors and duplicates. Oh, $8. That's not enough dollars. Now here, gain 2 duplicates. See, he's gonna get a sculptor. He gets the plat. The plat is a big deal. Gets another plat. I like the duplicate as island. like baby distant lands is really funny. That humble castle coming through in the clutch for the I actually really love this baby distant lands thing. the 2 platinum that Heron has is so good. I guess, yeah. Or maybe he just has 1. Yeah, Venture revealed. It would have been in reveal land otherwise. So we got our first colony buy here. Which is really nice for ospond. Did Heron, has he seen either of his plats yet, or did he bottom deck both of them? Just salt every castle. The castle buys are not convincing to me at all. Ospond can get haunted. Seems reasonable. Well, also you keep them so you can use them to empty the duplicates if that comes up. I would save them for endings. Heron could get a bunch here if he wanted to. He's just saving his duplicates for a surprise. Ospond may get a second colony here. That's really unlucky for Heron. Heron's plats bottom decked and both missed is just the worst. And here Ospond's hit 11 without a plat. So now the duplicate move for Heron is just like not a thing really. I guess it still is at the moment, but like if Ospond had not hit colony here, I'm pretty sure Heron would be close to a finish. No, he doesn't have a villager. If he had a villager, I think he would probably be close to a finish. Yeah, I mean he would have needed villagers because he would have wanted to gain a procession, but that's not in the cards. If I'm Ospond, I'm gonna at least think about getting 2 duplicates here just as a points play and to remove the chance of a pile out for Heron. On the other hand, silver is like way better chance of getting to colony. Yeah, I guess it guarantees it, so yeah, that seems better. Silver guarantees it, right? Not quite. No, yeah, it did guarantee it. Now it's just hard for heron, like really, really hard. Particularly with salt running around. Like, you just salt a colony here for sure. I mean, like, you can either salt or you can triple duplicate. I would probably salt, but triple duplicate, it looks pretty winning. Looks like a pretty winning line also. Oh yeah, it's 4 because you play the other one. Yeah, so you can do 4. That seems both seem winning, I guess. But can also I mean, I'm not going to complain as long as he does some variant of these kinds of things. Because I think all of them are like greater than 95% chance winning. Higher than that probably. You can't empty them. But you can get 3 of them. It looks like Kaplane's gonna rake in a few more coffers. So is Apo and Johnce and Ravenshard. It's that Duchy Duke angle. Wow, he actually scored a lot there. Ospond should try to score some points here so that Heron doesn't do something tricky. I would not buy a province. I would empty the duplicates over province, or get 4 duchies or something. Empty duchies. You don't want to leave the duplicates because if he can play sculptor and gain duplicates and then buy duchy or duke, that's gonna be big points for him. So you for sure don't want to leave the duplicates for Heron to do stuff with. Heron he doesn't have 8 to he gets the sprawling too. This is big points. Particularly the duchy is nice. Now he can just get the sculptors and win. Oh, duchy's there, yeah. Well, good games. Heron made a nice run at a comeback there, but didn't quite pull it out. Congratulations to Ospond and to Cut Plane, Johns, Ravenshard, and Apo. Sorry, the rest of you suckers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll try to keep finding matches where where the players aren't doing commentary and making videos and stuff. So tune in if you want to see those. But have a good one. See y'all later.